Greetings everyone, I'm Encore2nd, and welcome to the secret data pack reveal video that I promised you for a while now. I bet you have a lot of questions, but I'll get to those very soon. First, a little bit of an introduction. In my comeback video, I said that I'm working on a very large data pack and I'm going to show it off very soon. That wasn't what you can call very soon, but I'm doing it right now. And I thought, since I couldn't finish that other data pack I've been working on, then you guys can enjoy the Aether for Christmas this time. I didn't want to do that earlier, but then I thought that it wouldn't be the worst thing to do, to release the Aether Alpha publicly for you all to enjoy. Still an alpha, I have to say, but there's plenty of stuff to see here. Now, I'm not going to be going through the entire thing in this video. I want to leave some of it up to you guys, but I just want to show you some of the core ideas and progress that has been done on this project. So without further ado, let's start with some of the very obvious stuff. A lot of the color palette is changed for the Aether, and I'm actually planning to make new textures for most, if not all, of the things in the overworld, which will be the Aether. I'm using the buffet world, and since that feature was added in the first one of the first 1.13 snapshots, I've been working on this data pack. I started right there, and it's been a while, so a lot of stuff happened. As you can see, the work has been going on for quite a bit, and I've learned a lot of new things, so it's been a quiet journey. Now, as I said, I'm going to make new textures for most, if not all, of these. You can already see plenty of new designs and styles. The reason why I'm recoloring a lot of the blocks is to make it look unique and magical, and it really changes the way you play the game, just the looks of it. And of course, I'm changing the textures as well, so you'll see that in the future, in the beta. But for now, a lot of the stuff here is also quite different. And of course, I'm not going to be going through the whole thing, as I said, but I'll be showing off something that I've done. So for example, this jukebox here actually uses a spawn egg. And let me do that really quick. With the new 1.14 feature, we'll be able to get rid of that nasty spawn egg, nasty spider, and all that stuff we don't want. We'll just have the good old jukebox, and I'll use an armor stand for that and the new model tag, so you wouldn't be able to tell. Also, horse elytras. That's it. Don't worry about it. So, let me demonstrate how this jukebox works. That's crazy. I add these new discs that are replacing these two in the loot chests that you can find in your world. And actually, I'm utilizing all of the soundtrack from the Aether mod. I was given permission to do that by the creator. Great thanks and a shout out to Emil van Krieken. Hope I'm saying that right. So, these two tracks didn't really fit in anywhere, so I decided to make them into discs. So as you can see, the disc is playing. You can see the title, even the subtitle I added, which is not a thing usually. And if you break it, you're gonna get the thing back, but I don't want to demonstrate that yet. You can switch it off, put in this one, which is my favorite, and you will get the jukebox upon breaking as well. So it also works with regular discs, but with these ones you have to click on the top. So I think that's very well done, and there's a lot of little details like this. For example, the altar block, which is of course an enchanting table of sorts, but also has a different feature. Let me demonstrate. Unfortunately, it's quite hard to get rupees as of now, so I'm going to be working on that. But actually I have to get more of these to demonstrate. As you can see, you can power this altar, and it's quite similar to the one that you've seen in the original mod. So let me just click on that and I collect it back. Now, since I've powered it to its full ability, let me grab a golden apple and I'll get an enchanted one. There's another enchantment in here. I need orange shit for that, which is one of the new minerals in this Aether pack. One of the new materials, you can say. And I get myself an enchanted Echo Petal, and that's cheaper, as you can see, so I can grab 2 more of these, and that's how I get those, which are for brewing. And as you can see, I'm incorporating a lot of things from the original mod, but I am really changing them up. And before we go any further in this video, I want to say that this is not a recreation of the Aether mod. This is simply an reinterpretation, and that's what it should be considered as. This concept, I keeping general things like flying islands and certain materials that you can find in the original mod, certain mobs, a lot of things I'm keeping similar, and this is this kind of balance of basically doing a remake but with my own vision and incorporating things from the original as well as adding to new stuff and making it all work together. And I think this is something that I've achieved in this pack. I have to apologize because it's a bit laggy at the moment. My computer's been acting up. But this is the Zephyrs, which are of course one of the most iconic creatures of the mod. You can look at the model very well here. It's also on my head, as you could have seen. And this is actually the first time I've made a model. Of course, it's very simplistic, but it's a big experience nonetheless. I also wanted to demonstrate this to you. This is a work in progress thing. I just created the GUI for the feeder. This actually is for creating ice cream. This is supposed to be ice cream, but of course none of this is finished so far. This will all be in the future. This might change quite drastically, actually. I'm not sure yet. This is the animation. Not the best animation, so we'll figure it out. I'm also thinking of changing the GUI of Minecraft entirely, but it'll only be, of course, the case if you play the Aether. So you can switch off the resource pack if you don't want that to be a thing. Of course, that's just part of the experience. When you play the Aether, you put on the resource pack. When you don't, you put it off. Simple as that. So there's one more new mob, but I don't want to show it off quite much. I'll be doing a let's play of this version of the Aether on my channel very soon, so stay tuned for that. So I don't really want to go into the basics because I want you guys to be able to play and find that out for yourselves. What I'm doing here is, one of my main goals is to make this true to the original, but very different in its own way, and very different from Minecraft as a whole. Let's see, there's quite some changes in this version of the Aether, in this data pack. I'm just going to show off a couple crafting recipes, for example, so you guys can see the real difference. A lot of these are still subject to change, and as I said, this is a work in progress data pack. A lot of stuff has changed even throughout the alphas when I was releasing them to my beta testers, or my alpha testers you should probably say. And huge shout out to these guys because they really helped me with basically identifying if I was successful with this Aether or not. And we played on the server together, so we had some fun time. And you'll be able to apply for beta testing in the future, of course, if you follow my Discord, which is the place to get all the updates. People on my Discord knew about this pack for months already, almost at when I started working on it, while I was keeping it more or less secret. Only on a few Discord servers I was keeping it public, but otherwise nobody else knew I was working on this project. So I want to show you this as the final thing, and we find the recipe here. This is how you craft it. You can also find out all the information you need with the Book of Lore. It'll give you a brief description of all the items. I like how I did it because in the original mod you actually have to open a GUI and put the item inside of the slot. In the Aether though, you don't have to do any of that. So you actually just have to put an item on your offhand and it'll work. It'll tell you what it is basically. So let's get this tree going. It's a very nice effect. It's actually quite nerve-wracking to see this tree not grow because you really want to get it. And I got a big one this time, which is cool. I can shift and set my spawn point, although for some reason it doesn't always work. I'll have to look into that, but either way, that was the idea. Because there's no daylight cycle in the Aether, the only way to set your spawn point is by making this tree, and maybe you'll get something else in the process. I'm not going to show this. So a lot of things I've kept, more of the iconic features of the Aether, however they've been changed drastically. The same, the Zephyrs, Ambrosium has been really changed a lot. It's more of a uncommon and very precious item. It is still a light source, but it'll be used differently, and as you can see, they also are used for enchanting. And there's plenty of stuff in this pack that you guys should just find out for yourselves. So, as I am releasing this video, I'm also releasing the last version of this data pack, which is Alpha 0.5. Mind that there are still probably bugs in this version, and it's far from the final product. The final version of the Aether might look nothing like this, because as I said, even in the alpha stage, I went through so many different changes that drastically changed the game, basically, for lack of a better word. So yes, this is my survival world. My creative world, I'm sorry. I am just making different stuff here. This is where I work on the Aether. I already made a new one for snapshots, but I am a little bit of working on a different project at the moment. The one that I was talking about at the beginning of the video, which I haven't finished yet, that's why I'm not showing it off for Christmas. But you guys deserve a gift from me, and this is it. Hope you really enjoyed this Aether, this interpretation, and please give me your feedback. A very constructive feedback, criticism would be more than welcome. And right now, a shout out to all of my testers. Thank you guys so much for playing the Aether. I hope you liked it. It was great having all these precious moments and sharing them with you guys, because you're watching, most likely. So thank you all, and thank you guys who are my subscribers for watching. Don't forget to go to my Discord, smash like, ring my bell, and as always, stay